Holiday magic on a budget. All you need is a paper bag, glue, scissors, and string, and you can make this cute little holiday star. For this project, I'm using a glue gun, but you can use a glue stick if that's what you have, or any kind of glue. For each star, I would recommend using 7 bags. You can use more or less depending on your preference. I actually ended up using 6, but you can get a pack of 100 bags for $2.28 at Walmart, or you can get them at your local dollar store. Start by placing glue down the spine of the bag, so right down the center, and glue the flap to flap. Don't overthink this part, just go ahead and put your glue and press and hold to make sure it's secure. We don't want it to fall apart. Just continue putting glue down the spine and gluing it to the next bag. If you're using hot glue, it does dry a little bit quicker than if you're using the glue stick. If you're using the glue stick, just pause in between and press and hold them so that way they're not coming apart. Each piece doesn't need a ton of glue, but enough that we know that it's sturdy and holding together. When you get to the last bag, continue the same process. Just be sure that both flaps are facing each other. We don't want any flaps hanging out when we get to the next step. This is one of my favorite holiday DIYs. You can do so much with them. I like to hang them off my ceilings, or you can use white bags and make them large snowflakes. They're so pretty, especially with light. Okay, now that we have all of our bags glued together, they should look like this, kind of like an accordion. Now we're going to take our scissors and cut the open side of our glued bags to a point. So just cut off each corner. Don't think too hard about this. There's really no right or wrong. They all have their own unique style. But it should look like this. If you want to get a little fancy, you can fold it in half and cut slits where they would look more like a snowflake. I'm just using this as an example here to show you, but I'm not cutting full slits, so you won't really notice. You can also cut the outer layers to make it more of a frilled snowflake. It's all really about your preference. Now we're going to pull them apart on the pointed side, and it should be an accordion like this. I find it easier to stick my hands in the last bags and then glue it. This is what you should have so far. It's so easy, but yet so pretty. This is where you're going to glue the last piece together. So just glue along the spines just like you were before, and stick your hands in the bag. If it's hot glue, please be careful because it is a little hot, but just hold them together and that's what you have. Now for the final part, to add the string, you can cut a hole in the top or wherever you decide the top to be. Or if you have access to a hole puncher, it would be easier to just punch a hole and put the string through. Either way works just fine, so you don't need to get a hole puncher for this project. Now take your string. I usually use clear string, but I had black for the purpose of this video so you can see it. Just feed the string through the hole that you've created and then you're finished. As you can see, my glue started to come apart there. This is why it's important to make sure that it dries and holds before you move on to the next step. So learn from my examples. Do what I say, not what I do. Ta-da! You have a beautiful holiday craft. See you next time when we create